Well, ladies and gentlemen, CT5 coming at you once again. This time, let's make it a little bit more interesting, particularly about the English language and how it's used. There are certain terminologies and certain words that are um, used as, for lack of a better term, insults or slang, and I don't particularly know where they came from or how they got there. Uh, Particularly, for example, the term gay, which means, in a dictionary definition, this is how I'm going to be referring to these. That means happy. Now, how did this term become associated with what it is today? I have no clue. Because there's a lyric specifically in Dr. Hall's, which is a very famous, as we all know, and very addicting, if I say so myself, Christmas song that says, donning now all gay apparel. Now, that's using it in its proper uh, terminology, meaning the dictionary definition, not the societal definition. Another term is disability, or, why can't, again, there's many different disabilities. I definitely grant you that. But people don't really often use the word crippled. Not anymore. And to my mind, crippled means you have difficulty walking or you cannot walk at all. Now, if I use that term in association with somebody, for example, I have a friend of mine that is in state whom has cerebral palsy, who is in a wheelchair, and she's crippled for the rest of her life because of muscular atrophy. Her muscles are so weak that she can't walk at all. And so, yes, she's genuinely crippled. She has trouble walking, and she just can't be out of a wheelchair for long. And so that's an entirely different story than somebody with quote unquote special needs. And I'm thinking, that is so, you know, I would say, call it what it is. What kind of needs are we talking about? Okay, you need food, you need water, you need shelter, and you need clothing. Now, special needs, I mean, you know, I'm of the mind that, you know, call it the disability for what it is. Don't use a term like that and not. I just really, it's just sick. People are so politically correct and not, you know, I'll agree that no one wants to offend anybody. And not, frankly, neither would I. But if I knew what the disability was, I would say what it was. I wouldn't say special needs, whatsoever. I would say I worked with kids whom have disabilities, not I worked with kids whom have special needs, because you know, that saying to me, it's just absolutely sickening. That's more of an insult than saying kids with disabilities. You know, again, I'm old school. I was born in a different decade, and so when I was growing up, disabilities and what the disabilities were more commonplace and more accepted than they are now. And frankly, that's again that within itself is just sick. And so, you know, roll back the clock about 10, 20 years. And, if you're, addressing this person and you know what the disability is, call it out and use it properly. And so I it's just sickening how delusional, and how, you know, how just wayward thinking the American society has become. And they don't call it out like it is. They don't call it out for what it is, literally. If it's autism, say it's autism. Cerebral palsy, say it's cerebral palsy. Epilepsy, say it's seizure disorder, which is what that is. And I don't know. I just find that the language that we use today is not really helping any. It's really hurting people. And I'm not talking about using certain words as slang terms either. I'm talking about, the words that are used and how they're used. Concerning disabilities, especially. People need to be polite about how they address it. They need to be correct about how they address it. And if somebody can't walk and they're on the wheelchair, they are crippled. If somebody has a problem as far as comprehension, that is a learning disability. And I myself have trouble with that sometimes. Understanding some things, plumbing, carpentry, and so on. So that is a genuine learning disability. You have trouble learning things. It takes you a little bit longer than the quote unquote normal person. But then again, how do we define normal? What's normal for us is completely abnormal for somebody else. And I just think people need to be more realistic and, concrete about the terms that they use and the straight up dictionary definition to use them. Because if you continually use slang to describe something, it's not going to help you. It's not. It's not going to help anybody. Now, another term that is misused on a constant basis is the term fag. Now, faggot that is a pile of sticks. Concerning the dictionary definition, kindling for a fire. That's what that is. Or it is a slang term for a cigarette in England. Now that I can understand. What it is in the United States, however, that's boggles the mind. And how can a term that means a pile of sticks become associated with what it is today? And so, I, you know, I very much appreciate your thoughts and opinions on this material, on this matter, and how you think we can be more concrete and more direct about how we address these things, and to kind of turn back the clock, I guess, concerning the English language, and to not be, to not beat around the bush per se, as far as describing some disabilities and some difficulties. So, if you would, I would sincerely appreciate it. Hit the like and subscribe button for more videos of this. For more videos, and once again, I greatly appreciate your time and patience. And I'll see you next time. CT5 signing off.